Smokin' Jay Cutler and his carton of Marb Reds have landed back in the States after 25 long, torturous days trapped in the Bahamas. Never in my life have I used the word trapped so loosely. But if you followed along with the Instagram accounts in Cuddy's traveling party, they'd have you believe that they were a bunch of POWs locked up. For those of you not keeping up with the Cavallari Cuddy clan, you probably do not know that Jay Cutler, his wife Kristin, her hairdresser, and her hairdresser's fiance had been in the Bahamas since the middle of March. Nothing wrong with a little tropical getaway, right? However, when the entire world started to shut down at a rapid pace, flights were getting grounded, the Cutlers and their friends decided against getting on the last few safe birds back to their native Nashville. So on March 24th, the local government issued a memo to all international travelers urging them to return home immediately or be prepared to stay on the island for, quote, an indefinite amount of time, end quote. Well, the Cuddys chose the latter and decided to really dig deep and bear down and gut it out on the white sandy beaches, frolicking around in warm, crystal clear ocean water. Now, none of this would have mattered. None of this would have been a big deal or even remotely newsworthy if not for the rampant social media postings throughout their grueling quarantine period in paradise. Like, we wouldn't have known. We wouldn't have cared. But then again, it's their business to let us know, right? So Kristin does what she does. She uses that time as a wonderfully tone-deaf opportunity to market herself and move even more product, which is about as on brand for her as possible. If you've seen the reality show, it makes sense because the reality show, in effect, is a weekly 1-hour infomercial for her clothing and her jewelry store, and it's passed off as content, passed off as interesting drama. The only thing interesting about it is Cuddy. And Cuddy says maybe 5 to 7 words per episode. So, among Kristin's many posts were multiple beach bikini pics with the caption, social distancing. And since most of her followers likely consume that content while socially distancing inside a 2-bedroom house with kids driving them up a wall, the comments section did not go that well. Certainly not the way Kristin hoped it would go. Sample comments included, "Go home, you privileged millionaire." Quote, "People are dying, you're tanning." Quote, "You are obnoxious and irresponsible." So credit to her for seeing the comments and changing up the content. Instead of beach photos, she then switched to pimping product, like her cookbook. And it's not just the perfect pandemic synergy. Quote, "In times like these, food brings us together." End quote. Right. And in times like these, $30 can bring you together with a hardcore or a hard copy edition of my cookbook, which, by the way, is linked in my bio. Can't knock the hustle. I mean, spending 25 days in the Bahamas on the beach with your hairdresser and fiance, that can't be cheap. Speaking of the hairdresser, dude's name is Justin Anderson. And Justin used his Instagram to keep his fans constantly updated on the situation. You know, the situation of nonstop beach days, working out, drinking, and grilling at night with the legend Cuddy. Quote, 3 weeks of isolation, man. This island family has found our groove. Fitness is a priority. We get our sweat on each morning. Then lifeguard duty alternates throughout the day. Big Jay Cutler does most of the nighttime grilling. And Kristin and I do a lot of things on our phones throughout the day to keep our business rolling. End quote. You know what's really weird and really shocking is the fact that the entire internet was not in the mood to hear any of this. Something about swimming in tropical water and barbecuing with Jay Cutler in the Bahamas didn't really strike that sympathy note with the general public. And so they rushed in to let Anderson hear about that too. And it seems like he realized his misstep and was remorseful for his tone deafness because he responded by saying, quote, "This is where we happen to be isolated. Don't compare your situation to ours and say something judgmental. Just be positive." End quote. Says the dude in the Bahamas grilling nightly with Jay Cutler. Hey, man, don't judge. Hey, don't compare your situation to mine. Don't judge. And you know what? He's right. He's right. Stop getting mad at these people for showing you a 25-day vacation in paradise while you are back home giving people the hands for toilet paper and hand sanitizer. Look, I know 6.6 million Americans filed for unemployment last week, but like Justin said from the Bahamas after his beach workout, just be positive. I get it. You're scared somebody in your family might get sick. Yeah, well, how about you think about Justin too? Because Justin is scared. My man's scared. The Wi-Fi might go down on the island, and they might not be able to sling cookbooks in a pandemic from the beach. Come on, man. Lay off this reality family. They really thought you wanted to see their vacation pics and buy their products right now. They're offering you a distraction. They're offering you positivity. They're letting you in. They're offering you the opportunity to give them your money at a time when you're probably not getting paid and are worried about how you're going to pay your rent. Come on, man. Stop thinking about yourself all the time. As for Cuddy, man, Cuddy is Cuddy. And by that, I mean he's the man. Cuddy is the man. Always has been. Always will be. Cuddy, unlike the others there, does not have an Instagram feed. He's freaking smoking Jay Cutler. He doesn't need a feed. He is a feed. Of course, his wife made him one. His wife made one for him, and the handle is @IfJayHadInstagram. He doesn't, but he's got 333,000 followers. And the biggest flex ever, following 0. That's the best ratio I've seen in quite some time. 333,000 to none. Now, sometimes you see people like with followers, following to followers, or tweets to followers, like 28 million tweets and 5 followers. It's not a good ratio. 333,000 followers to following back 0 is pretty good. I guess what I'm getting at is this. Even Jay's proxy Insta does not give a damn. Not about you, not about anything, which is perfect. And in line with his brand is that picture of Jay standing waist deep in the ocean with the caption, "No toilet paper needed." Translation, Jay Cutler is wiping his butthole with tropical ocean water.
Butthole.
Yeah, you had no trouble finding that button, did you?
Butthole.
Celebrities, man. They're just like us. Anyway, the Cuddys are back home now. As of last night, they found a flight. Our national treasure is back on home soil, and so is his wife and her hairdresser. And I can't wait till the next episode of their show where they break down the harrowing trials and tribulations of surviving 25 grueling days in the Bahamas as multi-millionaires.
You know, I keeps a private jet.
Dana keeps a private island. I love Cuddy. Don't you at me or come in here and say, hey, don't do him like that. Don't do him like what? I love Jay Cutler. We all love Jay Cutler. America loves Jay Cutler. He's a national treasure. Now, that crew he runs with or rolls with, that's a little bit different.